If you think the life of a rocket scientist might be complicated, you should check with a farmer these days. We visited with 4 recently: Sam Baker in Ailey, Ben Sanders in Lyons, and David Jarriel and Alan Sikes in Collins. What we found is some stuff we already knew, that farmers hold a place alongside soldiers, police officers, and firefighters in their unselfish value to America. But we also discovered that farming is now an enormously complicated way to make a living. When Alan Sikes started Sikes Farms, it was 7 acres of onions and 15 acres of tobacco.
Humble and humbling beginnings, but the Lord blessed us and we were able to prosper.
Today, the tobacco's gone, replaced by 1,600 acres, all devoted to sweet Vidalia onions.
We can never compete with other onion growing regions if we didn't have a mild onion. So we have to stay mild. That's our trademark.
To grow his business, Sikes figures he's made hundreds of loans.
I mean, this is $1 million right here. It takes a long-term commitment to get it all paid for. And when it's paid for, it's worn out.
Yeah. But long before he was buying expensive equipment, he was making his most important loan with an uncle who's a banker, Paul Eason of Tippins Bank. Eason explained real early how it was going to work.
And he said, this is how we're going to get this paid for. He said, and everything's going to go good. And when the money tree don't bear, there ain't going to be any hard feelings. I'm going to turn my hat around backwards, put my banking hat on, and we're going to have a friendly foreclosure, and we're going to go back to work. And I said, yes, sir, I guess we will. I have no choice.
That conversation never happened because about the same time Sikes was borrowing money, he was marrying Tracy.
I just knew it was going to blossom because it's part of him, and he's been blessed.
If she gets tired of me and says half, baby, then there'll be no argument there.
Sikes has about 50 employees year-round. That number grows to 200 during harvest time when he sends a couple of buses to Oaxaca, Mexico.
It's a great plan. These folks are great. We've had the same return workers. Generally, when I say return workers, I'd say 95 out of 100 return workers each year come back to pick onions, and then they'll go home. See, I'll bus them back home, and on the H2A program, they may be back in North Carolina 2 months later doing sweet potatoes. So it's a great deal. It's a great deal for America, and it's a great program for us, and these are marvelous people.
The field workers average $10.62 an hour. The best make up to $300 a day. They're all in America legally, says Sikes.
The H2A program, and that program is where we get legal workers from a foreign country. Primarily ours are from Oaxaca, Mexico, which is a farming state down in southern Mexico. And we have to get them passports and visas. We bus them up here, and we provide housing, and they're fully insured under my insurance policy.
He provides shelter and transportation and even some things they don't have back home.
Like refrigeration and the water, for example. I mean, in so many places where they're from, water is so almost non-existent. So, here in Georgia, they feel they have an infinite amount of water to bathe and drink in, and on top of that, they have hot water.
As much as possible, Sikes irrigates using surface water he captures in ponds. He says that preserves the water in the aquifer.
And if we're not trying to use that surface water that's going to dissipate onto the ocean in a hurry anyhow instead of our aquifer water, then we might need to recheck our intentions.
During harvest season, April and May, the work week can be up to 100 hours.
We do attend funerals during onion season, but we don't have birthday parties and weddings.
That's a strain not only on people, but also equipment, which is Gary Jarrell's area of responsibility.
It's a lot of pressure, a lot of time riding on what I do, all the labor, field crew wise, and the onion quality. If they're not dug when they need to be dug, you're losing time and money.
Hey, no way.
The money happens in here, several 100,000 feet, affectionately known as the shed.
You grow for show and you pack for dough, okay? But the problem with the packing is that's where all the money's at, and that's where the real work is. Anybody that's got a packing house owns a prison. We don't work on Sunday, but the packing house is open about 45 Saturdays out of the year, so it's basically a 6-day-a-week job, starting at 8 in the morning. Usually this time of year it's 11 or 12 o'clock.
This is the packing house where Vidalias are prepared with customized packaging for the stores that'll sell them. Costco, Super Value, Sam's.
Some stores like showcase boxes that you can see farther to the right here, which is an open top display box. And then our standard box, which is just a 40-pound carton that we use, that most customers, I like to say most, but what you really find out is everybody wants something different. Yeah. So it doesn't matter how prepared you are with packaging. You've got to have a dress for every occasion.
Vidalias like to be cool and dry, Sykes says, so there's refrigeration that gradually gets them cool and keeps them cool all the way to the store.
Come in here, you'll smell it, so.
There's also ozone to help control bacteria and fungi. And on the line, people survey the onions for things that might make them unsellable. All of that is part of the quality control process that's Sykes' biggest headache and the most fiercely guarded achievement.
The single biggest challenge to farming on this farm is being compliant, and the time it takes and the paperwork it takes to be compliant with food safety and any and all governmental regulations. So much of my time each day, especially when our season starts, is spending time with the latest person that pulled up with the car with the sticker on the side. It took us a little while to get it implemented, but we were one of the first farms to have full traceability. So whenever I send a box of onions from the farm across the road here to Cassopolis, Michigan, I can trace that onion from the day it was harvested, well, back to the seed where it came from, anything that was placed on it, the day it was harvested, the drying room it was in. It's a no-joke traceability method. And even if that weren't required anymore, we would still do that, because if there ever were an issue, then I can retrace and recall that particular lot and the other few affected lots, whatever the case may be. And if I didn't have a positive lot recall method, I'd have to recall all of my product. And by this time of year, with so much product we have across the country, that'd be financially devastating. No, he quits, I'm quitting.
That has not happened to Sykes Farm in Collins, Georgia, in large measure because of the team that Alan put together with his wife Tracy and his sister Marcia. But the team member that gets the most credit and praise from Sykes is the one that's in charge of the weather.
We believe in the Lord. That's where our blessing comes.
Agriculture is the most helpful, most useful, and most noble employment of man. I'd rather be on my farm than be the emperor of the world. George Washington.
Meet one of our local farmers in a WTOC salute. Proud to be a Georgia farmer. Thursday on The News at 6. Sponsored by Lassiter Equipment Group and Blanchard Equipment.
If time is infinite, why is there never enough of it? A John Deere One Family tractor with Quick Park lets you attach and go. iMatch Quick Hitch gives you more time for what you love, so it takes less work to do more work. Auto Connect Drive Over Mower Deck? Done. They're not making any more land, but there's plenty of time if you know where to look. Now you can own a 1E subcompact tractor for just $99 a month. Learn more at your John Deere dealer.
Enhance your backyard family fun with Pride Pool Spas and Leisure. Live adventurous with Kid Again's outdoor games. La Siesta Hammocks is the new wave of hammocking, and Canyon Coolers are tough and affordable. The Big Green Egg is the ultimate cooking experience.
Pride Pools is your home for backyard family fun.
The water feels great. Come on in.
Spas and Leisure, home for backyard family fun.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or any other asbestos-related cancer, call now. Asbestos manufacturers sold deadly asbestos materials to thousands of companies, putting workers at risk. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be entitled to a portion of these funds and receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or ever going to court.
For your free legal consultation, call 1-800-476-2914. That's 1-800-476-2914. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
I love it. And just to My mother, she loves to come out here and just watch it water, you know. It's yeah, it's very, very peaceful.
Sam Baker was born on this land. He and his 8 brothers and sisters grew up farming just outside of Lyons.
Never heard of Ellie, I'm sure. Most of the time I tell people Vidalia because actually we are close to Vidalia.
Mr. Baker can tell the stories of his mom coming out into the field and picking vegetables in the morning that she'd cook for lunch for all of the children out working in the field. His mom was able to do that because his granddad was tight with $1.
My grandfather was a sharecropper for years and years, and he heard about this small tract of land as he was working in the field with other sharecroppers that had come up for sale. My grandfather was very frugal, and so he went unknowing to those people, went to the person that had the land and had the money to purchase the land, and he actually made the purchase, and then he told his sharecropper that at the end of the crop year, I won't be with you next year. I bought my own farm. Never used a tractor. He always plowed with the mules all the way up until he died in the early 70s.
His grandfather's name was Henry Baker.
Henry Baker was somebody when it came to farming. To buy a new one today would probably about $250,000, you know.
There are no mules on the Baker farm today. They've been replaced with technology that's tripled farm productivity in the last 70 years.
Runs off GPS. I wouldn't farm without one. I mean, I used to think they were ridiculous to have, but there's no way we could cover and do the kind of work we do without it. It's so precise.
But while technology has improved, Baker says the climate has not.
Well, we have to have irrigation. I mean, it's almost impossible to farm without irrigation. Water is expensive. The equipment is expensive. But it's even more expensive whenever you don't make a crop. You know, even just this past year, 2016, when we had those, 60-something days of 90-plus degrees, which was a record. So that tells us that the temperature, the climate has changed a lot. And so that's what we farmers are struggling with. This is where everything happens.
There's a little one-room office next to the heavy equipment, the cerebral cortex that Sam and his 3 brothers use to navigate the complexities of today's ag world.
I've often said farmers have to be some of the best managers in the world because we operate on such a small margin. Our rate of return is nothing like most businesses are.
But Baker says he does not have to navigate any issues of race or color in a community and a profession where character, work, and faith are the only measures of a man.
I mean, I've had people of all sectors who've just been more than gracious to help me. I'm so proud I got a banker that has confidence in me, and you know, and all my suppliers, they accept me as a person, you know. And I'm proud to say that, you know, that I can, because that's the world that we live in. We're all God's children.
Since 1946, Tyco has built and supplied powerful, efficient terminal tractors and trailers across America, and we need skilled individuals just like you to keep us at the forefront of our industry. For the list of available opportunities, visit tycotractors.com.
Make the smart choice. Franklin Chevrolet, the GM giant in Statesboro. When you choose Franklin Chevrolet, you're choosing value, selection, and always great savings. During the Smart Choice event, save 20% off MSRP on Franklin's most popular Chevy models like Silverados, Sierras, Cruises, and Malibus. Your choice. Buy today and save 20% off at Franklin Chevrolet. Plus, get Franklin's lifetime warranty on every new and used purchase. Find it at Franklin Chevrolet, the GM giant in Statesboro, and online at franklinchevrolet.com.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
Let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
In your town, call All-American Air at 843-476-6590 or go to allamericanarsc.vpweb.com.
It's the Memorial Day sales event at Southern Motors Springfield Chrysler, where we have great deals across the lot. Like this 2017 Chrysler Pacifica from just $299 a month. Or check out the 2017 Dodge Journey Crossroad from just $209 a month. And, if you could believe this, a 2017 Ram Quad from only $259 a month. Only during the Memorial Day sales event. Don't miss out. Drive a little, save a lot at Southern Motors Springfield Chrysler, Highway 21 just past Rankin.
To make our community safer, we need your help. WTOC and local law enforcement joined together to profile this week's Most Wanted, Wednesdays on The News at 5.
Most Wanted Wednesdays is sponsored by Savannah Law School.
You see them little fellers right there?
You're looking at the most recent innovation on the Dry Branch Farm in Collins, Georgia.
Our newest thing here is we're continually planting pecan trees in areas that we can't typically run row crops or vegetable crops. There's little jogs and spots that are small, but they're inefficient for other practices, but for pecans, they seem to suit well.
Note David Jarriel's pronunciation there, pecan. On further consideration, David might want to change his description of what's being grown.
No, let me explain the pecan and the pecan deal. That's very simple. People get that all mixed up, but that's very simple to explain. When you pick up nuts out of the yard and you get a, $75 to $1.25 for them, you just got some old pecans. They taste the same and they look the same, but whenever you get up to the $3 money, then you're a pecan grower then, and that makes a big difference.
Even though onions, not pecans, are the major money crop coming out of Collins, David gets a satisfaction from the wise utilization of the land the pecans represent and from knowing that they'll be there for his daughters to enjoy for years in the future.
When these trees here come October and we come up, we grab hold of these things and we shake them and those nuts fall to the ground, you feel like that you've done something,
David got the farming bug from his dad, who's planting peanuts this morning that'll harvest in a couple of months. Mr. Jarriel was also a mechanic in his early days to help make ends meet. The idea of having a couple of ways to earn a living seems to have seeped from father to son.
We don't grow a whole lot of anything, but we keep ourselves very busy in being all mixed up, but trying to spread our risk and trying to do what's best for the land and also best for ourselves.
This is homemade kind, so.
It's almost lunchtime at Dry Branch Farms, and David's mom has tacos on the stove for the family because everybody's involved in the operation.
I'm in charge of food safety, quality control, and then I manage the entire packing house.
David's wife manages several critical aspects of the operation. On a tour of the packing house, she notes how much of the local economy is connected to farming.
One of the reasons why the Vide industry helps such a large portion of Georgia, because everybody thinks, oh, agriculture, it's just grocery store chains, and it's just the farmers. But actually, you'll see paper products, which helps the paper mills. You're going to see printing products, which helps most of your printers, pallet distributors, and then we also have electricians and construction workers.
Those products are all made possible by this one, the sweet Vidalia onion. The Jarriels will grow about 20 million of them this year, thanks to the hard work of his mostly Mexican field workers.
Our laborers, many of the folks that we use come on a visa from Mexico, and they've been coming here for several years, and they're involved too. They care about the farm, but they care about us, and we do them.
As his respect for his field workers indicates, there's an interdependence on the farm that seems to foster stronger relationships than in urban areas where customers can be nameless and faceless. Jarriel brought up his John Deere dealer, Chris Hopkins, as not just a salesman, but a trusted advisor.
He ain't trying to always sell you a tractor or a piece of equipment. He's there to help forward you along, and that's beneficial.
Chris is the president of his local farm bureau and a farmer himself. That makes a big difference to his customers who rely on him in ways not associated with selling John Deere.
We are all in it together. When they're successful financially, we are successful. And our community thrives, our businesses thrive, our employees thrive because of it. And so we help them make decisions that are sound economic decisions. So hopefully their business will be able to have an impact on our rural economy.
The bottom line for this South Georgia farmer is that he needs relationships as the centerpiece to everything he does. Relationships with the immigrants who gather his harvest, with the family who helps sustain his business, and with the land that makes all of it possible.
You know, when you wake up early in one morning, you walk out, there's a serenity. Kind of push you at one with the land. I enjoy that.
Proud to be a Georgia farmer is sponsored by Lassiter Equipment Group and Blanchard Equipment.
Do you use catheters? Are you using the catheter that's really best for you?
Oh, yeah. For years, I'd been using one kind of catheter, and I never knew that there were other really great catheters available until Liberator sent me samples to try. If I had not tried the samples from Liberator, I might never have found the perfect catheter for me. Liberator Medical sent me a catheter that was easier for me to use right out of the package. I even use them in my airplane and carry 4 or 5 and can be gone for a whole day. And now that I've found the best catheter for me, it's made my life much easier.
There are so many innovative catheters. Get the best catheter for you. Call Liberator Medical, a C.R. Bard company. Get your free catheter sample pack.
Call 1-800-641-8244. 1-800-641-8244.
Memorial Day savings are better than ever right now at Hilton Head Hyundai. Save big during the Better Than Ever sales event. Get up to $9,000 off MSRP on a new 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport. Or purchase a new 2017 Hyundai Sonata for only $16,999. And every new Hyundai comes with America's best 100,000-mile warranty and Hyundai Assurance. The savings are better than ever at Hilton Head Hyundai, where we look forward to serving you.
Minutes from Savannah, Hilton Head, and Buford.
If you're too hot, call Bird. Too hot, call Bird Heating and Air.
Hi, I'm Sam Bird.
Justin Bird.
And Matthew Chance of Bird Heating and Air. Your total satisfaction is why Bird is the area's first choice for air conditioning. Turn to the experts at Bird, where we proudly install Carrier and service all brands.
If you're too hot, call Bird Heating and Air.
Every little bit helps.
Ben Sanders is the king of spreading risk. He grows peanuts, corn, and cotton on his farm in Lyons. He has an interest in a cotton gin, and he operates a feed and seed store.
We've had the feed and seed store here since 1976. My daddy opened it, James Sanders, and it's been a family-run business since then, and we're still in business.
Ben is the 4th generation Sanders on the farm. Walking along with him are the 5th and 6th. His nephew David is learning the ropes.
Watching the other generation, the generation before me, and taking notes, and anywhere I can, asking questions, and a lot of learning from picking cotton, working the machinery and all.
Right here, all sitting together, is probably about $275,000.
Paid for?
No, not paid for. Paying for it.
If David's learned to worry from Ben, then he's worried about prices. Farmers spend, often borrow, huge sums of money to get a crop in and out of the field with no guarantee that they'll get a return on their investment.
I just hope these commodity prices keep easing up, and hopefully we can hang on and stay in business, because if it wasn't for the farmer, we don't eat. Years ago, you planted it and the price was there, so to speak. You didn't have as much input cost in it with fertilizer and seed and equipment.
The other piece of the equation on the Sanders farm is the yield. Ben's got to have a good crop at a good price.
We got to make a yield. If with the commodity prices the way they are, if we don't make high yields and premium crops, we don't get paid premium prices. So if you make a half a crop, you don't stay in business long.
Cotton seed? Yes, sir.
In spite of the risk and the worry, Ben stays hopeful that 2017 will end in the black.
We got to look up. We got to be positive, and it's not the greatest, but commodity prices is trying to ease up. So I'm looking for a good year.
Vikings didn't actually have horns on their helmets.
Ostriches don't really stick their heads in the sand.
A peanut is not a nut.
And a real John Deere is actually real affordable.
You learn something new every day. The surprisingly affordable John Deere E-Series tractors.
Dependable performance, uncompromising quality. No surprise, it's America's tractor at Lassiter Equipment every day.
Beat high energy costs with a new high-efficiency carrier system. Call Gerald's Heating and Air to get up to $1,350 in carrier rebates with flexible financing options available. Gerald's Heating and Air is your town's best choice, offering total indoor comfort, professionally trained technicians, and service to all brands. Turn to the experts at Gerald's Heating and Air today at 912-756-3422 or go to geraldsheatingandair.com.
The Honda Perfect Accord sales event is your chance to get an incredible deal on the Accord, which has been named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list a record-breaking 31 times. To celebrate, we have amazing offers on the Honda Accord, which has a 5-star overall vehicle score. The Honda Accord is also the best-selling car in its class. Race in to the Honda Perfect Accord sales event and get a great deal on the Accord today at your Honda dealer.
Is your family prepared for this year's hurricane season? Join WTOC for the Savannah Hurricane Preparedness Expo, Saturday, June 3rd at the Home Depot on Abercorn. Meet the WTOC First Alert team of meteorologists. Get a tour of WTOC Storm Chaser and receive information that could help save the lives of your family. Plus, hourly door prizes will be given away and free food and drinks will be provided. June 3rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
I mean, this is $1 million right here.
Modern farming is a capital-intensive enterprise.
Right here, all sitting together, is probably about $275,000.
But the farmers of South Georgia tell us they could not be successful without the right equipment.
But there's no way we could cover and do the kind of work we do without it.
They also rely on the people who sell that equipment for far more than a brochure of its features. Chris Hopkins sells John Deere equipment for Lassiter Equipment in Lyons, but that's just one of the hats he wears.
You know, he's there to help forward you along, and that's beneficial.
Chris is president of the Lyons Farm Bureau and has a 1,000-acre farm himself.
We are all in it together. When they're successful financially, we are successful.
As difficult and complex as farming is today, Chris says it takes the right stuff to be successful, and the farmers of South Georgia have it.
They're solid in their faith, they contribute to their community, and they care about what they do.